Now the first thing we're going to be doing is changing decimals into percentages. And the very simple way to do that is to times by 100. Now because we're timesing a number with a decimal point in by 100, if you remember, the numbers move to the left as the number gets bigger. So what we would be doing is we'd be moving the 9 and the 0 to the other side. But an easier way to think about that is to just think that your decimal point ends up at the end of the number like that. So your number would be, if we just leave it as it is there, your number would be 0, 9, 0. But we don't really need that 0 at the front. And remember, we're changing it to a percent, so we call it 90%. If you left the 0, that would be fine. So that's just how you do it. Now remember, we moved 2 places because 100 has got 2 zeros. So the next one, there's our 2 places that will be moving to the other side. So your decimal point's going to end up at the end like that. So that would give you 0.87, which is 87%. Okay, and then we've got, same again, those 2 numbers, decimal place goes behind it, and that will be 29%. And then one more, these are my 2 numbers, the decimal point goes behind. Now that's going to leave you with 001. We don't need those 2 zeros at the front, we can just call it 1% like that. Now if we're doing it the other way around, changing percentages into decimals, we are dividing by 100 instead of multiplying. Now 36%, we haven't got a decimal point there, so the first thing you need to do is write out 36 and put a decimal point on the end. Now you can put 0.0 if you want, but you don't need that 0 if you don't want it. Now this time, these 2 numbers will be moving the other way this time because the number's getting smaller. So we can just think of the decimal point moving like that. Now you can't start a number with a decimal point, so you have to put a 0 at the front. So we call that 0.36. Now the next one, we've got 8. Now we put 0.0 on the end, like this. We need to move 2 numbers, but there isn't a number there. So what you have to do is you have to put a 0 in, so you've got 2 numbers. And then your decimal point can come to the front like that. And we can put our 0. So this time we've got 0.08. Now that 0 is very important because it's a placeholder. So that's not 80%, it's 8%. And then again we've got 72, 2 places, we come to the front, add a 0, 0.72. And then one more, we've got 5.0. We need 2 places, so we have to put a 0 in there. And then decimal point goes to the front. And we've got 0.05.